All right, let's talk about something we all want more of, flexibility. But we're going to skip the myths and jump straight into the science. Today, we're breaking down a research-backed protocol heavily informed by work from neuroscientists like Andrew Huberman that can seriously increase your range of motion. So, whether you're a serious athlete or you just want to touch your toes without making a noise, this is for you.
Does this sound familiar? You bend over to grab something and, whoa, your fingertips feel like they're a mile away from your toes. It feels like you're getting stiffer every single year. Well, you're not imagining things. It's a real, measurable process, but the good news is it is absolutely not inevitable.
And this isn't just a feeling. The numbers back it up. The science is pretty clear. After you hit 20, you can lose about 10% of your flexibility every single decade if you don't do anything about it. But here's the thing, it's not a one-way street. We can totally reverse it. The key, though, isn't what most of us think. It's not about trying to physically lengthen our muscles. It's about understanding the real boss in charge.
And that boss is your nervous system. Your brain and your spinal cord, they're the master controllers. They're constantly deciding how far your limbs can safely go, kind of like a governor on an engine that keeps it from redlining. So if you want to unlock more flexibility, you have to learn to speak to this system in a language it actually understands. It's not about forcing anything. It's about convincing your nervous system to ease up on the brakes.
So, let's meet the first part of your body's built-in safety crew, the muscle spindles. Just picture these as tiny little sensors woven right into your muscle fibers. Their one job is to sense how much and how fast that muscle is stretching. And if you go too far, too fast, they send an alarm signal straight to your spinal cord, which immediately fires back a command, contract, protect yourself. It's an automatic, life-saving safety brake.
Now for the second safety system, the Golgi tendon organs, or GTOs. These guys hang out in your tendons, right where the muscle plugs into the bone. Now, they don't sense stretch, they sense tension or load. So if you try to lift something that's way too heavy, the GTOs sense that dangerous amount of strain, and they basically hit the big red emergency stop button. They tell the muscle to just relax to prevent it from literally ripping off the bone. Think of it as your body's own circuit breaker.
So let's just put that all together. You've got two completely separate safety systems. The muscle spindles, they sense stretch, and they hit the gas, telling the muscle to contract. But the GTOs, they sense load, and they slam on the brakes, telling that same muscle to just shut down. It's this brilliant push-pull system, all orchestrated by your nervous system to keep you in one piece.
And that right there, that's the whole secret. So often, we treat stretching like we're fighting our own bodies, trying to force our way into a deeper position. But the real, lasting progress comes when you stop fighting those safety brakes and you start learning how to communicate with them instead. You know, talk is cheap, right? So let's actually prove this works. You can do this with me right now, wherever you are. We're going to run a super quick experiment that will give you a real, tangible boost in your flexibility just by talking to your nervous system.
Okay, you ready? First, stand up, keep your legs straight, and just bend over and try to touch your toes. No bouncing, just see where you land. Make a mental note of how far you can reach. Got it? Okay, now stand up straight. For the next 10 seconds, I want you to squeeze the muscles on the front of your thighs, your quads, as hard as you can. Really, really tense them up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, relax. And now, right away, try that toe touch again.
You went further, didn't you? Yeah, almost everyone gets an instant increase in their range of motion. So what just happened? Your hamstrings didn't magically grow longer in 10 seconds. Nope. By squeezing your quads, the opposing muscle, you sent a really strong signal to your spinal cord that basically told the safety brake on your hamstrings, hey, it's cool, you can release for a second. It's a neural trick called reciprocal inhibition. You literally just hacked your own nervous system.
Now that little hack is a fantastic demo, but the effect is temporary. So the real question is, how do we make these kinds of changes actually stick around for good? Well, let's dive into the scientifically optimized protocol for building genuine long-term flexibility. Okay, so when you look at all the data, the evidence points overwhelmingly in one direction. For creating real, lasting increases in your range of motion, good old-fashioned static stretching is king. A huge 2018 review that looked at dozens of different studies confirmed it. Just holding a stretch is the most reliable way to create those long-term changes you're looking for.
So what's the minimum effective dose here? What do you actually have to do? The science points to a simple number, 5. You need to get in a total of 5 minutes of static stretching for each muscle group you're working on, spread out over the week. That's our first magic number.
And how long should each of those holds be?
Well, research from a key study found a clear sweet spot: 30 seconds. 30 seconds gets you the benefit. Holding for a full minute? It showed basically no extra advantage. So 30 seconds is the most efficient use of your time, period.
And finally, how often do you need to do this? Well, consistency is everything. To really signal to your body and your nervous system that you want these changes to be permanent, you need to be doing it at least 5 days a week. That consistency is the final piece of the protocol.
So we have the protocol, right? 5 minutes a week, broken into 30-second holds, done on 5 different days. Simple enough. But there's one more piece to this puzzle, and this is where pretty much everybody gets it wrong. We're all taught no pain, no gain. But when it comes to flexibility, what if that's the very thing that's holding you back?
Now, just listen to this. This is a direct quote from a study in a major research journal. They compared one group stretching with moderate intensity to another group stretching with very low intensity. And the result was completely backwards from what you'd expect. The group that took it easy actually saw better results.
And you can see it right here on the chart. The data is just undeniable. Pushing to a point of discomfort, say 80% of your max effort, was actually less effective than a really gentle stretch at only 30 or 40%. And the reason goes right back to what we talked about at the beginning. If you push too hard, you trigger those protective safety brakes, and your nervous system starts to fight back against the stretch.
This means your goal in a stretch should never be pain. The sweet spot is a gentle, sustained pull where you can still relax and breathe deeply. You just find that first point of tension and hang out there. This less is more approach lets your nervous system chill out and adapt, which leads to much safer and, it turns out, much more permanent gains.
And that really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? The science is clear. For flexibility, working smarter, gently, and consistently is way more effective than just trying to work harder. It really makes you wonder, what other areas of our health, our fitness, or even our lives could benefit from a little less brute force and a little more intelligent consistency?